first image that you can see are the contents from the course. This course is available in English as well as in Marathi. So youths can have access to the course based on their comfort in the language. Now coming to the Green Club, we talked about activities under the Green Club. So before the activities, every college in our state, every college from the 13 districts have formed a Green Club under their college. With the basic structure of the Green Club will be the Green Club faculty coordinator, which is one of the faculty from that college will lead this Green Club. Under that faculty, students will work as a committee members. So for youths that we have planned, be the part of the committee member under the guise of Green Club president, Green Club vice president, campaign coordinator, and the documentation coordinator. Now, all of these youth committee members have their different role to play in this club, which are specified in the manual. The link for the manual and the manual actual is available to all the GCFCs from all the colleges. They can have access to it through the link and the QR code that you can see on the screen as well. In the manual, all the roles and the responsibilities of reporting and conducting the activities are specified in it. Uh, for this year 2024 and 2025, we have circulated an activity calendar in which for every month college can take up what type of activity a college can take up in every month. That is given in it. So however, which activity to conduct or which activity is possible for that college to conduct, the call will be last call will be taken by college authorities only. However, students, the committee members can plan their activities or understand what type of activities that they can conduct under the Green Club in their college. So we have tried to give an overall phase of the activities in this report, in this calendar. Now, there is a link also mentioned in that calendar, which you can see in highlighted blue. This link will forward you to the activity report form, where whatever activity that you are conducting in your college under the Green Club, that you are supposed to report through that link. In order to keep uniform platform for all the reported activities, we have created this form where you have to submit what type of activity that you have done. And as such, the few questions will be asked based on your activity. Now that you're looking at the screen is the activity plan for this month, for the month September 2024. So 6 activities are suggested. Water audit, such as water audit for the college campus, Nirmalya collection, visit weather station, river cleanup, organized talk, etc. All this activity, whichever activity that college is, the Green Club is going to conduct, they are supposed to report this through the link given below. So as we are talking about the reporting format, till now we have received total 150 plus Green Club activities have been reported in the month of July and August only. July and August, and this 150 activities came from more than 100 Green Clubs that are in the 13 districts. So why we are mentioning again and again about the reporting through the link, because many of the GCFCs, they try to do is share their activities done through the WhatsApp only. Now, sharing the activities on WhatsApp will not be considered as reporting, as when the final call will be taken to understand what the college has done under the Green Club, unless until you have reported through the link, through the form, it will be considered as invalid. So if, let's say, if the GCFC has reported so many activities on the WhatsApp group, however, they fail to do the same through the link, then it will be considered as no activities have been done through that college, because we will not get any report from them directly. So hence be sure to report the activities that have taken up through the Google form through the link only. And if any of the GCFC, any of the students have uh, difficulty in finding the link or understanding where the link is, please ask your respective district coordinators, researchers. They will surely help you anytime for this activity reports. Now, the last is our YEWS app. So we are youth engagement and what for water stewardship. So the name water comes in it only. So saving the water through your daily water using work, brushing, bathing, etc., and reporting it to the technical platform. This is how we try to communicate with youths, and youths try to communicate it with us on how they are trying to save water and what are their understanding of the water that they have saved. So the right hand side image that you can see is the image from the app, that is screenshot from the app. So this type of app, most of the students are using, every student is using right now to report the activity through this platform. So this image that you are seeing. The app is for the students, the youths, who will be reporting what they have saved wherever they have saved water. And this image is of the dashboard, which is seen by your GCFC. Now, this is the state's dashboard where you can see Mumbai is currently leading with the highest, with the students in the Mumbai colleges from the Mumbai have saved the highest water till date. So, this is how Y-waste reporting, your reporting on the app will reflect reporting of your college on the dashboard. Now, this dashboard is accessible to all the authorities from in this program, including joint director, director, and principal secretary, all. So these GIFs are for the GCFCs to share it with students to remind them of how they are supposed to, or to remind them to go to the app every day to save water and to report their water saving activities every day. These GIFs are sent can be sent via WhatsApp. So to all GCFCs, this will be shared with you through your district researchers. This will be sent to you through your district researchers, and yes, then the GCFC can send it to their students group or pass it to their students. So yes, this was the last slide. Avadut, if anything is missing, you can take over now.
यस थैंक यू यस थैंक यू साइली ये जो GIFs हमने बनाया है ये अभी रिसेंट डेवलपमेंट है बिकॉज द फीडबैक वी रिसीव्ड की एवरी डे वो रिमाइंड करना हर एक स्टूडेंट को कि आपने जो भी वाटर सेविंग किया है वो रजिस्टर करो YEWS ऐप पे सो दिस GIFs विल हेल्प यू to do that. If you can share on the one GIF every day, then it will be also act as a reminder for students to do that activity particularly and also to record on the YEWS application. Thank you very much. हमने just briefly देखा कि online course, green club activities and water conservation through YEWS tab. इसका overall status क्या है अभी इस academic year तक. And now, after that, we will also move to our actual agenda for the today, and that is a webinar regarding Punaravartan campaign. So I would like to introduce our guest for today. लास्ट ईयर भी मनीषा मैम ने हम सबके साथ इंटरेक्शन किया था हमारी महायुद्ध फॉर क्लाइमेट एक्शन दैट इज माइका ग्रीन स्किल वेबिनार सीरीज वाज गोइंग ऑन एंड आई थिंक इट वाज सेकंड वेबिनार in last year August or September we had organized based on Punaravartan campaign. Last year also we had received tremendous response from all of the participants regarding the webinar. They were very enthusiastic about the overall this new concept about recycling clay and all. Manisha ma'am will talk about it in detail. Before that, I will just introduce her. Manisha Seth is a founder of EcoExist, and she is working in environmental conservation and sustainability since last more than 20 years. She is architect by training and also natural resource management का भी उन्होंने training complete किया है. Earlier, she has worked with Kalpavruks Environment Action Group for 6 years before setting up EcoExist, and she is a founder of the EcoExist Foundation. She is also has an expertise in the material and products design, and particularly Manisha is also very passionate about the link between religion and the conservation. सो थैंक यू मनीषा मैम, आपने हमारे लिए अपना समय कीमती समय निकाल के अपने पूरे अभियान और पुनरावर्तन कैंपेन का ओवरऑल व्हाई वी आर डूइंग दिस, हाउ वी आर डूइंग दिस, वो शेयर करने के लिए थैंक यू वेरी मच. द यू कैन शेयर योर स्क्रीन एंड ऑल्सो यू कैन स्टार्ट डिस्कसिंग. थैंक यू.
Thank you, Avadut, and to all of you. I'm so excited to see there are 241 participants. So it's really wonderful. It feels like all of Maharashtra is coming together. So I'm very happy to be here. मैं मेरा share करती हूँ screen. Are you able to see this?
Yes.
Okay, so I will start by just kind of telling you a little bit about circular economy. Or in fact, I think many of you may already be familiar with it. And this idea of circular economy, where does it really come from? And you would be surprised to know, or maybe you know already, that this is not a new concept for Indian culture. You know, in Indian philosophy, we have been familiar with the idea of Punarjanam, you know, in the Hindu community at least, where things are not seen in a very linear way, right? And you understand that nature works in a cyclic manner, and therefore even human activities, even human life itself has to kind of replicate that cyclicity which is seen in nature. And so as Avadut mentioned, my passion is about materials and product design. So in the product design field, some years ago, they realized that there has to be a design concept called cradle to cradle. So what does cradle to cradle mean? It means that when you think of a new product or when you invent a new product, it's not just the lifespan, माने वो product use कैसे होगा, कौन से material से बनेगा और कितना उसका lifespan होगा, माने कितने सालों तक हम use कर पाएंगे. But you also have to think कि उसका lifespan जब खत्म हो जाएगा तब क्या होगा उसका, right? So earlier this concept was called cradle to grave, and then they realized कि grave के आगे भी कुछ होना चाहिए, so they changed the name of it and it became cradle to cradle. So what the cradle to cradle concept is saying कि अगर कोई प्रोडक्ट का लाइफ स्पैन खत्म हो गया तो उसके बाद में how does that product really get dismantled? How does it get reintegrated? Does it get reintegrated into nature, or can you break it up into various ingredients and then reuse those ingredients? So what is going to happen after the product is finished its lifespan? And so this is how the thinking has moved from a linear economy. So linear economy, on the left, you can see you exploit nature, you take resources out of nature, you manufacture, you make, and so there are industries, and then you're just disposing it off. So you're not thinking कि अभी इसके आगे इसका क्या होगा. So अभी in the Industrial Revolution and in the years following the Industrial Revolution, this was really that thinking that was there. And then they realized as the landfills kept going up and as there was no solutions, that you just cannot dispose of so much waste and you put it into the seas and the ocean, you put it into the rivers, or you know incinerate it and it pollutes your air, or it's just sitting in a landfill. But so we don't have waste management solutions, and so therefore we shift to a circular economy kind of thinking, where every material is respected, and even after the lifespan of the product is over, you have to have a cyclic way of handling that material and that product. So that is in essence what circular economy is. Now, in this kind of thinking, there is no waste really, है ना? Because if you really recognize that uska product ka lifespan khatam hone ke baad bhi that material still has some value, right? So if many of you will know कि भारत में तो कब से हमारे यहाँ भंगार वाले तो आते ही हैं. पहले ऐसा होता था कि आपके पुराने कपड़े लेने कोई आ जाएगा and then they will give you utensils in return. So there were many systems which ensured that the materials stayed in a constant cyclic kind of chain. So in that, जो चीज आपको ऐसे लगे कि now you know my jeans have become too small for me, so I'm going to throw out my jeans. There is somebody else who can wear them because they are still in good condition, right? So you if you want to minimize waste, your attitude has to change. It's not an attitude of throwing away or use and throw, which has actually come to us from the industrial revolution. But it is saying that, okay, now I don't need this product anymore, and so therefore can somebody else use it. And here, since we are going to talk about Ganesh Utsav, I'm bringing your attention to this word Nirmalya. So Nirmalya का अर्थ शायद आप लोगों को पता होगा, but Nirmalya in Marathi means that which is not waste. मल नहीं है वो, Nirmalya. So our approach towards materials and our approach towards waste itself has to change. So here, many of you know now, at least in Pune, this collection of flowers after the Ganesh Utsav. Abdul, there is a line on the screen. Can you just check what that it is? I don't know.
Yeah, I think
Somebody
this
has-
is by mistake it is done. I think you have to just stop and just reshare again. Then I think it
Okay.
will.
Okay.
Sorry for that.
Right. So पूना में अभी ये निर्माल्य कलेक्शन का जो काम है, it has now, after all these years, 10 years almost, people in Pune have been doing this, and it has been integrated into the festival itself. तो उसमें क्या होता है कि जो फूल पूजा के बाद के फूल, अवधूत, can you just check why this is happening? Just 1 second. Somebody's screen, somebody is kind of drawing across the screen.
Yeah.
Just take a look here. 1 second. Just give me a minute.
Yeah. I request the participants, please be careful with your hand on screen. Accidentally, it is drawing some lines on the screen. So please don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
I'll share. Right. So, so this Nirmalya then is collected and it is sent back and it's put back into use. So either people make compost out of it, or some people are making color, some people are making dhoop and agarbatti. So this one particular material, which is the flowers, it has a cyclic loop has been created out of this. And as I was sharing that there is a group here called the Swachh Cooperative. So they are able to collect nearly 150 tons every year. So we felt that, okay, one must look at the other materials also that the Ganesh Utsav, the waste that is created in the Ganesh Utsav and what we can do with it. So we started Punaravartan, my group, which is EcoExist. We started Punaravartan in 2020. And the way it began is because we have been exploring eco-friendly Ganesh idols for many years. And we had some clay idols with us. And 2020 was when the Central Pollution Control Board finally came out with immersion guidelines where they are saying that there should be no immersion in natural water bodies. And they have categorically put a ban on plaster of Paris idols. So we realized that more and more people will start using clay, and clay is a limited resource. It's a non-renewable resource. It is mined. And so we thought that iska bhi punarvapar ho sakta hai kya? So the word Punaravartan is a word that we actually found from the Bhagavad Gita. And it was in a shloka where they are pointing out that in nature, everything undergoes growth, dissolution and renewal, right? सब चीजों का जन्म होता है, उसका एक लाइफ स्पैन होता है, and then even after it dies, it gets renewed in some way. So we wanted to bring this concept of Punaravartan back. So what exactly is the campaign? So as I said, the POP idols are banned by the Central Pollution Control Board. And so the use of Shadu will go up. Also, if you put 200-300 tons of Shadu Mati into a natural water body like a river or a lake, that is going to create another ecological disaster, right? So what is then the solution? So the ideal solution is if you use a permanent idol. So आप उसी मूर्ति को as a symbolic विसर्जन करके फिर उसी मूर्ति को आप अपने घर पे रखिए, हर साल उसी की पूजा करिए. But if you feel that Visarjan is an important part of my ritual and I would like to do it, so we encourage people कि आप घर पे विसर्जन कर सकते हैं. और अगर आपकी मिट्टी की मूर्ति हो, and we encourage that you should use natural materials, तो वो मिट्टी पुनर्वापर हो सकती है. So पुनरावर्तन is basically a campaign to say आप ये मिट्टी वापस लाके दीजिए, हम मिट्टी मूर्तिकारों को वापस देंगे. So एक छोटा सा जो आइडिया हमारा 2020 में था, we were able to collect 30 kgs of clay that year. तो 30 kgs आया हमारे पास, we thought अब इसका क्या करें? So we went to the मूर्तिकार and said आप इसको पुनर्वापर करेंगे क्या? And they said yes, we can do this. So they made मूर्तिस, and then the following year we thought but लोग खरीदेंगे क्या ये मूर्ति? So we then announced and we said we have recycled clay, would you buy this? And we found a very good response in 2021. So in 2022 we invited all our friends across Pune, all the environmental organizations, all the different citizens groups, and we said, will you help us to scale this up? And so in the year 2022, we were able to collect over 20,000 kgs of clay. And then by 2023, we already had it happening, it was happening in 8 cities. So this, like I was telling you, Central Pollution Control Board guidelines prohibits the use of plaster of Paris idols for immersion, toxic chemical paints that contain lead and mercury and heavy metals like that should not be used. Single-use plastic and thermocol materials should not be used. The size of the idol also should be kept under control, like up to a certain limit only, and obviously no waste should be generated. So these are the immersion guidelines from the Central Pollution Control Board. So we first started by doing an awareness survey that लोगों को ये पता है क्या? Do people know about this? What do they feel? Do they feel that the Ganesh festival has an ecological impact? Yes, no, maybe. So इस तरह से हमने एक survey किया. So then we found that there was some clarity, but many people still were not very sure. And then we also asked them, do you know what happens to your idol after the Visarjan? And we found that people don't know. So if you ask them कि विसर्जन के बाद आपका मूर्ति का exactly कहाँ जाता है वो, right? So if you can see here, many people said don't know. 40% people said we don't know. Then some people said it's put back into the river, and this is actually true. Some people said कि शहर के बाहर में कहीं फेंक देते हैं, and some people said it just stays over there. So doing surveys like this. So later I'm also going to share ideas of what you can do in your green club. But doing a survey is the first place to start. Have a questionnaire, ask people the question, so you understand कि हमारे community पे level of awareness क्या है, right? Now, if you ask me, ma'am, what is the perfect material to use? So we have created this chart here, which is kind of a comparative study. कि आप कोई भी मटेरियल लोगे ना तो उसके पॉजिटिव इम्पैक्ट्स भी हैं और नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट्स भी. शायद ही कोई ऐसा मटेरियल होगा कि 100% दिस इज द राइट मटेरियल टू यूज, बिकॉज इट ऑल्सो डिपेंड्स ऑन द कॉन्टेक्स्ट. अभी नाउ इन दिस table you might see that paper mache and cow dung, most of the criteria it is fulfilling. But is it possible for everybody to access paper mache? Is it possible for them to access cow dung? So आप कहाँ पे हो? आपके आसपास में क्या situation है? So it depends, right? So there is no one clear answer. However, for sure, we do not want to use plaster of Paris and we do not want to use any chemical paints. So now when you're thinking of the Ganesh Utsav, I started working on the Ganesh Utsav in 2007. So this is the 17th year that I'm working on this festival. And we really kind of said कि आपको धीरे धीरे, if you want to become more and more eco-friendly, then how will you go about doing it? So what is your murti made of? What are the paints that your murti, that you are using? where are you immersing the idol? Are you putting it in natural water sources, or are you, you're using a permanent idol? And so from red to green. So the green is where you want to go. What is the size of your idol? What kind of decorations are you using? And do you do the celebration in an individual way, or do you do it in a collective way, right? So now, if you just look at the material, clay. So people in Maharashtra, most of you will know that it's called Shadu Mati. You can see on the right. So ye jo Shadu Mati hai na, it gets mined. And so for Maharashtra, the mines are in Gujarat. We don't have this clay in Maharashtra. So as you can see from the photograph, it's mined, and then obviously mining itself has a huge negative impact. And also it is a limited resource. So अगर पूरा देश ये use करने लगेगा तो कभी ना कभी तो खत्म ही हो जाएगा. Now, unfortunately, most people are still using chemical paints. So आप अगर ऊपर से मूर्ति देखोगे तो शायद आपको ये पता नहीं चलेगा कि POP कौन सा है और माटी कौन सा है. And so one has to learn to identify. So when you turn it over on the inside, you will see that POP is white and Shadu Mati is grey. So you have to learn how to identify these items. अब आपके शहर में मिट्टी की मूर्तियां मिलती हैं क्या? नहीं मिलती हैं तो क्यों नहीं मिलती हैं? आपके शहर में मूर्तिकार हैं कि बाहर से मूर्तियां आती हैं, राइट? अगर मूर्तिकार हैं तो उनके साथ जाके बात कर सकते हैं. So there are so many ways in which you as youth can actually kind of get involved. And this I'm just sharing with you.
साउंड नहीं आ रहा है.
साउंड नहीं आ रहा है?
नहीं.
नहीं मैडम, क्लियर साउंड आ रहा है. शायद इंटरनेट प्रॉब्लम होगा. आपका आ रहा है, क्लियर आ रहा है.
काय विषय तुमच्याकडे नसतो का पर्यावरणपूरक उत्सव असा? कसं आहे, आमच्याकडचं डेकोरेशन पर्यावरणपूरकच. आमचा गणपती पण शाडूच आहे. फक्त या वर्षीची भारी गोष्ट ही आहे ना की मागच्याच वर्षीचे गणपती बाप्पा याही वर्षी आमच्याकडे. म्हणजे पुनरावर्तन. कसं आहे, आपण पर्यावरणपूरक गणपती साजरा करण्यासाठी शाडूची मूर्ती तर घेतो, पण शेवटी ती नदीत विसर्जित करतो आणि नदीत विसर्जन केल्यावर त्या मातीचा परत उपयोग पण होत नाही. त्यामुळे आपण शाडूची मूर्ती जर का आपल्याच घरी मातीमध्ये विसर्जित केली आणि त्याच मातीचा पुन्हा पुढच्या वर्षी गणपती आणला तर अशी वाटली आयडिया. ज्या बाप्पांना आपण बुद्धीचा देवता मानतो त्यांच्याकडनं ढोलची बुद्धी घेऊया आणि खऱ्या अर्थी पर्यावरणपूरक गणेश उत्सव साजरा करूया. म्हणजे काय करूया? पुनरावर्तन करूया. मंडळी, तुम्हालाही तुमच्या शाडूच्या मूर्तीचं पुनरावर्तन करायचं असेल तर स्क्रीनवर दिलेल्या नंबरवर संपर्क साधा आणि म्हणा, गणपती बाप्पा मोरया, पुनरावर्तित होऊया.
So in this way, this is the social media reels that we had made. So in this way, you can also make a lot of fun kind of videos and reels to spread the message. Now we also wanted to find out from the public कि अगर इस तरह से हम recycling करेंगे तो would the public be okay? Would they agree to do it? And we were very happy to see that nearly 70% of the public said हाँ, हमें ये ठीक लग रहा है और हम करेंगे. And really in Pune we were so amazed that हमने सोचा था कि हम 3 टन के आसपास इकट्ठा करेंगे, and in 2022 we had 23 tons. So more than 20,000 kilos were collected, and that means people really gave us a fantastic response. So how do you do this Punaravartan? So basically what we are telling people कि आप अगर घर पे विसर्जन कर रहे हैं तो आपको सिर्फ एक ही चीज नहीं करनी है कि you have to put a piece of cloth below in the विसर्जन का बर्तन, and then put your murti in it, so that once the murti is completely dissolved like this, you are able to pull out the piece of cloth and the water will all drain away, and then you'll have the mati. So this is very easy to do. And then once we went to the Pune Municipal Corporation and we said, आता तुमच्याकडे पण इतकी माती येती आहे तर त्याचं काय होणार आहे? Why don't you give it to us and we will return it to them? So here you can see in Pune we have nearly 200 locations for where they put this Krutrim Talav, the artificial immersion tank. And then the clay at the bottom, it looks like this. So last year, finally, the Pune Municipal Corporation was able to collect, and they sent us 5,000 kgs of this clay. Right? So now, why is this important? So when we are studying the environment, and especially for all of you, because water is important, you are learning stewardship for water. You're learning water conservation. So we really need to think, how are we going to protect our natural water bodies? Right? So getting people to understand that because the scale of the festival has gone up so much, पहले जमाने में इतने सारे लोग इतनी सारी मूर्तियां नहीं डालते थे उसमें, और जो डालते थे वो मूर्ति भी वहीं की बनती थी, उसी मिट्टी की बनती थी, अपने आप खुद बनाते थे और उसी जगह पे वो वापस मिट्टी डालते थे. इट वाज नॉट कि आपने गुजरात से मिट्टी लेके आए हैं, उसके ऊपर केमिकल पेंट डाल रहे हैं और यहाँ पे पूना में आप नदी में डाल रहे हैं, ऐसा नहीं था. Right? So the time has changed, and so therefore now there's a huge amount of pollution happening. So now the thing is, if you want to solve a problem like this has been being discussed for the last 20 years. Many people have said yes, no, some people have disagreed, some people have resisted. Why? Because there is a whole community of murtikars, craftsmen, and their livelihoods are dependent on this. So आप कोई भी चीज बदलना चाहोगे समाज में, तो you have to सबको साथ में लेके चलना है. So you also have to understand what are the challenges that the murtikars are facing and how can you help them. So Punaravartan के माध्यम से we are actually helping the murtikars. We are telling them कि आप POP पे बैन हो गया है, आप मिट्टी की तरफ जाएंगे, we will help you, we will bring the mitti back to you and we will give it to you for free. So in a very brief way, this is how the campaign flows. That the emotion happens, we collect it from the citizens, we transport it, we take it back to the artisan. The artisan makes the murtis afresh, and then the next year they go back to the client. So is tarah se ye hua hai. Now we have this year, yesterday itself, we have announced 50 collection centers across 60 collection centers across Pune, and Pune Municipal Corporation has given us 50 dedicated immersion tanks. And so the citizens of Pune will have 110 locations where they can, go and return their clay. And then we were trying to get like the Maha Metro involved in it and others. And so we kind of brought many, many partners together. And on 2 days during the festival, we received the clay back from them. So like you can see on the left-hand side. Now this is how the volunteers, so the photo you can see here, these are college students from Pune, and they have collected the clay is in front of them in these sacks, and then they put it onto this like a transportation, and then it goes back. And at each center, volunteers are expected to arrive early. They have a center in charge, they welcome the citizens, they fill up a form, and then they track the collection कि हर जगह पे कितना हुआ है. And then they put the clay in the tempo and then they enter the form online. So इस तरह से, as you can see, जगह जगह पे ये माटी दान का कार्यक्रम चलता है, right? So now if we and I would like to brainstorm with all of you कि green clubs में किस तरह के activities पुनरावर्तन के हम कर सकते हैं. So like I said, you can start by simply doing a survey, and we already have survey forms designed. And it would be really amazing to see comparative studies being done in different parts of Maharashtra, just to see कि public का awareness level क्या है. फिर आप अपने शहर में मूर्तिकारों के पास जा सकते हैं, उनकी इंटरव्यूज ले सकते हैं, राइट, और उनके चैलेंजेस क्या हैं, उनकी समस्याएं क्या हैं, वो समझ सकते हैं आप. Then if you want to actually get involved in the collection, then you can set up collection centers. Now in Pune, it has become such a big activity that we are getting requests from schools and colleges. We are getting requests from societies also, जो बड़े-बड़े societies हैं. They are saying that can we create a collection center in our society itself, right? So you need to do a lot of education, awareness raising. You have to have a proper system to do the collection, and then find a way to give it back to the murtikars. You can do Ganesh idol making workshops, but especially with recycled clay. And you can also stand during the festival, you can stand at these various immersion locations, and you can, do awareness raising with the people who come there. Now, normally for the students in Pune, we are issuing a certificate of participation. And this is also, we can do this. We'll check with your with the YEWS network and see whether this is required. If it is required, we are happy to do this with you. So this is, you can see a photograph from last year, and this is all the clay that we had collected. And when it comes to this storage center, we actually have a weighing scale with us, और एक एक पोता का हम weight लेते हैं, because that's how we are able to measure and document के कहाँ से कितना आया था, किस quality का आया था, और then we sort it all out and then we decide कि 10 मूर्तिकार हैं तो किसको कितना हम भेज सकते हैं. So this is kind of the process by which we are doing all this. And this, as you can see, this was almost in the middle of the campaign. We had created these posters. So Pune last year ended up collecting about 14 to 15 tons from home immersions. And we had 5 tons, 5,000 kg that came from the PMC to us. So we had between 19 to 20 tons just in Pune itself. Thane is doing it. Thane collected 3.5 tons. Pimpri Chinchwad, which is close to us, they also collected almost 1 ton of clay. And this year we have around 10 to 12 cities that are actually going to be doing Punaravartan. So we'll be able to, really see how it is all moving. This is a photograph of the murtis. All these murtis are made with recycled clay. As you can see, we do not paint them. These murtis are finished with multani mati, which is another kind of soil. And just very minimal, just for the eyes or something, a little bit of watercolor is used, but overall it is free of chemical paint. And we have used just threads and everything to decorate it. So very, very beautiful, even though very simple. So now the murtikars are making murtis like this, and we are also trying to help them to market it. Now, those, in some cases, like in the public immersion, it happens that it could be that in the immersion tank, there are different materials. So now lal mati has also come. Some people are using cow dung. So these also can be immersed and they do dissolve in water. So the clay that is collected from the public immersion is not as pure, you can say, as what we are getting from home immersion. So what we did the whole of last year, we actually experimented with that public immersion clay and we sent it to various architects who tried to make bricks out of it. We sent it to some product designers who tried to make foodware out of it, So this whole experimentation process is ongoing. And on our website, I would really, really recommend that all of you take the time to visit our website. It's www.punaravartan.org. And this website is meant to be like a source of data, and all our campaign tools are there. The social media tools are there. Posters are there. You can use whatever you need. You will get it from there. We have the research documents that we have done, the surveys of awareness, the results of those surveys. All of this is available on our website for use. So faculty, teachers can also visit it. So on that website, there is one tab called Reuse, where we have the YouTube videos of the architects who are sharing how they have experimented with this material. 5 architects had actually done various experiments, right? So that kind of wraps up the whole campaign. And as you can see from this image, this is the clay that is sent back, and then the murtikars are finally able to use this. So with this, I'll just stop sharing, and I'm happy to take questions, Avadut, if there are. We can have a discussion around it. That would be nice.
Can you please also briefly mention कि पुनरावर्तन कैंपेन का और ओवरऑल माझी वसुंधरा अभियान का जो
Yes,
तो
absolutely.
वो थोड़ा मेंशन करेंगे तो एवरी
absolutely. So we were very happy that माझी वसुंधरा अभियान जो है उसमें इस वर्ष उन्होंने जो 5.0 वाला जो उनका क्राइटेरिया है उसमें गणेश उत्सव के टाइम पे they have specifically mentioned reuse of clay or reuse of soil after the Ganesh Utsav, and they have allocated 50 points to that. And so in a way, they have actually made it mandatory for municipal corporations. We are working very closely with the Maharashtra Pollution Control Board. And 2 weeks ago, we presented the Punaravartan campaign to the Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister. And they have instructed municipal corporations across Maharashtra to implement Punaravartan. We will be holding a training for the municipal corporations. And so if any of you want to start this in your own city, you can definitely get in touch with us, and we will link you with other NGOs or individuals in your city who may also be wanting to do something, as well as we will connect you with the municipal corporation specifically on this issue, because they have been sent an instruction from the Pollution Control Board specifically to implement Punaravartan. So I think that would be very useful. And when the municipal corporation knows that Maji Vasundhara will be actually gauging them or judging them on this, so there is a kind of an incentive to really go ahead with it. Yeah. So I'm happy to take any questions around this. There's so many of you, 235 people are still with us. I can see several people from Mithibai College. I grew up in close to Juhu myself. I went to school in Juhu, so I'm very happy to see all of you here. But also from BVP College and the other, there's so many different colleges. So please, if you have any questions, let's have a bit of a discussion around this.
एक क्वेश्चन ऑलरेडी चैट बॉक्स में आया है कि ये कैंपेन ओनली पुणे के लिए है या अदर सिटीज भी इसमें सिटीज या म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन सारे?
हाँ, तो जैसा कि मैंने कहा कि ये एक्चुअली पूरे 43 म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशंस को बताया गया है कि उन्होंने ये करना चाहिए. तो अब तक शुरुआत, आई थिंक इस वर्ष अबाउट 10 cities will be doing it for sure, and maybe 3 or 4 of them the municipal corporation is involved. Let me also very briefly share with you the website so that you all can. So this is the Punaravartan website. Can you see, Avadhoot?
Yes, we can.
So on this website, like I was telling you, there is a lot of information. And if you want to, start from scratch, where do I start? So for example, here we have under contribute, you will see that for citizens, what you can do, so societies, what you can do, volunteers, NGOs, colleges, schools, corporates, as well as we have created guidelines for the municipal corporations also. Under campaign tools, you will find a lot of different tools that we have already created. And we have the history of the campaign, who are our partners, how do we find the beneficiaries, and we are always available here for hand-holding. So I think some of my colleagues from the Punaravartan core team may also be on the call. So if you just write to us, punaravartan@gmail.com, if you want help to get this started, we can actually guide you through it. So I see another question here saying that expenses on the program, who will be bearing, faculty, coordinators, or college? So I think Avadhoot, you can answer that to them.
Yes. अगर आपका कॉलेज कलेक्शन सेंटर होके, इफ कॉलेज इज टेकिंग द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, तो जो भी शैडो माती का क्ले वहां पे जनरेट होगा और कलेक्ट होगा, वो ट्रांसपोर्टेशन करने की जिम्मेदारी आपके कॉलेज को उठानी पड़ेगी. सो इफ कॉलेज, आपका एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन एंड आपकी मैनेजमेंट इसके लिए रेडी है, देन योर कॉलेज कैन डेफिनेटली बिकम अ कलेक्शन सेंटर.
शायद
आपके यहाँ पे. Yes, yes.
Sorry. आप बोलिए.
No.
नहीं, मैं देख रही थी कि there are some schools of architecture also here, in the call.
Yes.
So specifically for that, so I just want to share that I am an architect myself. I was trained in Ahmedabad. So under this page, which is reuse, you will be able to see the experiments that we have done with architects, ceramic designers, and material experts. And there are short YouTube videos, so where the expert is sharing what they have done, right? So for example, ceramic applications, or in green building, someone has created pond liners. Some architects have tried with construction blocks. Some have tried to use it along with bamboo. Then we had a lab in Bangalore, which actually did experiments, and so they shared the results of their lab testing. So, there could be a very nice activity for a green club, which could be like an innovation challenge. So especially if you are an architecture college or a design college, you can invite your students to take this up as a challenge. So you can collect the clay and then work with it in your college itself. and come up with ideas of what you feel that material is capable of, you know, and you can definitely be sharing with us maybe next year what kind of ideas that came out of it. Sean Pereira is asking, will Mumbai City be joining the Punaravartan program from this year onward? So yes, we are actually talking to one NGO. It has not yet been finalized, but there are already about 7-8 people in Mumbai who have asked to start this. So like I said, if you connect with us and we have a group in your city already, we can connect you to them, and then you can directly coordinate with them of how you can get involved in that city. Any other questions about the concept itself, or any doubts, or any any thoughts that you may have? आप हिंदी में मराठी में भी बोल सकते हैं.
Yes.
ठीक है, I think Avadut seems to be pretty clear, right?
ये मुझे WhatsApp पे आया है एक्चुअली
हाँ.
कि आपका इसके अराउंड एक वर्कशॉप कॉलेज में प्लान हो सकता है क्या? ये सेंट जॉन कॉलेज पालघर से रिक्वेस्ट आई थी कि इस कंसेप्ट ओवरऑल रिसाइकलिंग सर्कुलर इकोनॉमी एंड के लिए जो हमने पूरा बीए किया, तो उसका एक छोटा वर्कशॉप या सेशन उनके कॉलेज में वो ऑर्गेनाइज करना चाहते हैं. सो
ठीक है, जरूर हो सकता है. अब तो अभी गणेश उत्सव में बहुत कम समय रह गया है, बट आई वुड सजेस्ट दैट पालघर इज नॉट टू फार फ्रॉम पूना. आई मीन इट्स क्लोज टू मुंबई. I will actually be in that region in the last week of September. So maybe first week of October something, we can plan something. I'm happy to come, not a problem. ये समर्थ इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ फार्मेसी से एक प्रश्न आया है, हाउ टू कैंपेन इन रूरल एरिया. So this is a very important and good question. Thank you for asking it, because जो urban सिनेरियो है और जो रूरल सिनेरियो है वो बहुत अलग है. ये हमको भी अभी समझ में आया है. हमने ना सावंतवाड़ी रीजन में हमने 47 मूर्तिकारों का एक सर्वे किया था. वो सर्वे और वो स्टडी भी हमारी वेबसाइट पे आपको मिल जाएगी. तो उन्होंने हमको बताया कि वहां पे उनके एरिया में ऐसे सब लोग मिलके एक जगह पे बहुत सारे लोग विसर्जन कर रहे हैं, ऐसा नहीं होता. वो बहुत डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड है सब जगह है. तो दे हैव अ वेरी डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ कॉन्टेक्स्ट. So what we are doing for those मूर्तिकार, because वहाँ के जो मूर्तिकार हैं वो पारंपरिक मूर्तिकार हैं, and they themselves did not want to work with chemical materials. They want to work with natural materials. So for them, what we have done is we have designed small messages and posters which they can send out to their own clients and request their clients की तुम्ही आम्हाला माती परत आणून द्या, right? तर तिथनच तिथे परत येतील. And then there will be a direct link between the person who is producing the product and the person who's using the product. And once the product use is over, then he returns the material back to the original producer. So that becomes the closed loop, that circular closed loop that we are talking. You know, the smaller the loop, the more sustainable it is, right? So यहाँ पे भी पूना में अब हमारी कोशिश क्या है कि हम क्यों इतना सारा मटेरियल इकट्ठा करके एक जगह पे हम लेके जाएंगे, फिर उसके लिए आपको 5 ट्रक लगेंगे. इट्स अ वेरी लार्ज लूप, राइट? सो नाउ व्हाट वी आर स्लोली ट्राइंग टू डू इज टू से कि अच्छा ये लोकेलिटी में कोई मूर्तिकार है क्या, तो उस लोकेलिटी का सारा क्ले उसी मूर्तिकार के पास जाएगा, है ना. सो वी आर ट्राइंग टू डिसेंट्रलाइज द होल मैकेनिज्म एंड मेक द क्लोज्ड लूप स्मॉलर एंड स्मॉलर. सो रूरल एरिया में अगर आप ये करते हैं कि कंज्यूमर और प्रोड्यूसर को डायरेक्टली अगर कनेक्ट किया जा सके, तो कंज्यूमर वापस जाके वो मिट्टी डायरेक्टली मूर्तिकार को वापस दे सकता है. दिस इज वन वे टू डू इट. एक और प्रश्न है, व्हाट डू यू डू विद द फिल्टर्ड वाटर दैट रिमेन्स आफ्टर फिल्टरिंग द शाडू माती, बिकॉज दैट ऑल्सो विल हैव some % of soil particles. So Anuprita, when you are using a piece of cloth, there's the water that comes through, it mostly collects most of the soil. It's not absolutely pure water, but that water we are putting into our plants, so that much is not a problem. It's really a very minuscule fractional amount. And what the PMC does, so see, that's why I wanted to point out to you that there are two processes. One is Gharguti Visarjan, which is home Visarjan, and the other one is public immersion. So they actually lead to two end products. So it's almost like grade A quality clay and grade B quality clay. And then two applications also. So grade A is going back to the Murti cars and grade B has to go into construction or some other application. So what the PMC does with their water, they don't really have a solution. So, there are many kind of, when you're talking about a green Ganesh Utsav, there are actually a lot of problems that we still need to solve. For example, the chemical paint. It is a huge problem and the paint manufacturers are, encouraging the Murti cars to buy chemical paint. So we have not even started looking at that problem yet. So we have to slowly move forward. Like I'll tell you, EcoExist started working on Ganesh Utsav in 2007. In 2009, we started the Nirmalya collection and recycling program with Swachh. And as I was sharing with you, Swachh is now completely integrated it into the city waste management system. So dhire, it's getting better and better and better. And I haven't shown it to you, but I wanted to tell you how it has been such a success in Pune. Because we have been able to bring together diverse groups of people. So we have meetings with the Ganesh Mandals, all the Manache Ganpati, which are the most respected Ganpati temples in Pune, like the way Siddhi Vinayak is for Bombay, right? So all these big temples have agreed to support us. The Pune Municipal Corporation is working alongside with us. We have schools and colleges, we have NGOs. So a big part of running a campaign like this is, can you bring people together and say, this is the task, let's do it together. Then you can really do it at a very big scale. Yash is saying, but in rural areas, at least my village, most of them use POP idols. So firstly, how to convince them to use Shadu Mati idols? So very true, Yash. वही problem है. And mostly, क्यों नहीं use करते Shadu Mati? So उसमें दो तीन मुद्दे हैं. So one is that या तो वहां पे शाडू माटी की मूर्ति मिल ही नहीं रही है. Maybe there's no supply of शाडू माटी. अगर शाडू माटी का सप्लाई है भी तो भी वो महंगा है. So people feel कि इतना सारा पैसा हम नहीं खर्चा कर सकते. So when you start doing the survey in your own region, you will start by identifying कि मेरे गांव में या मेरे district में exactly problem क्या है. And then you will come up with more appropriate solutions for your city, for your region. I'm showing you what we did in Pune because we have been working on this for 17 years now, right? हमको भी धीरे-धीरे समझ आई है. So if you start working and you start talking to people, talk to the citizens, talk to the Murti cars, talk to the PMC. I remember going to the Pune Municipal Corporation 15 years ago, telling them that ये आप POP की मूर्तियां क्यों क्वारी में फेंक रहे हैं? आप इसको recycle क्यों नहीं करते? And they themselves were telling us कि मैडम आप हमको कोई उपाय बताइए, हमारे पास उपाय ही नहीं है. Right? So don't assume that the government knows everything. Sometimes the government is also struggling for answers. They need scientists, they need experts. So to be able to run a campaign like this, you have to go and talk to everybody, understand everybody's point of view, and then come to an appropriate solution and an appropriate scale for your own city, right? Yes, tree Ganesha is one option. So tree Ganesha, those people are using red soil. There are some other problems with using red soil because red soil comes from farms and it is usually the top soil and it is the most fertile soil. So again, I will not encourage that you use fertile soil which is meant for agriculture. It's not the best thing to use for Ganpati Murtis because it is important to be kept as agricultural soil, So like I was telling you earlier, ना कोई भी एक material आप लेंगे ना, उसका pros and cons क्या है वो समझ के जाना चाहिए. Nothing is like absolutely 100% पक्का. Everything will have its own pros and cons. You understand? I think that covers it. Any other thoughts, questions? And
Yes.
I'll just write down our email address here. You can just please communicate with us because I would love to hear back from you. It's very simple, punaravartan@gmail.com. My name is Manisha. I think my colleague Maitreya, if you're here, Maitreya, can you just unmute and say hello? We have 5 people on the core team. So if you send us an email, somebody will surely, get back to you and help you do it.
Yeah, thanks, Manisha. This is Shama here. I'm here listening in.
Shama
This is lovely. Yeah, thank you.
Shama Dev, she is part of our core team, and Shama is actually very interested in the education of it. She has also just recently finished a whole course in environmental law. For those of you who are interested in law, if there are any law colleges or law students here, I also want to tell you that we did with some interns only. हमारे यहाँ interns आए थे, and we did with them a whole study, very interesting study. I'll just share with you over here. It's on the website. You'll see if you go to if you go under campaign tools and research, there's also the legal history. So if you go to the legal history, there you will see that we did a whole research on the history of the immersion guidelines and why it has taken the government 20 years and they have still not solved this problem, right? So as you can see here below, from 2005 to 2024, all the various cases that were filed, sometimes by the Murtikar, sometimes by environmentalists, sometimes by the citizens, what were the various perspectives that people were presenting, and some of these cases are still being fought. So one of the persons from Mumbai, Mr. Stalin Dayanand, who is working on protecting the Thane Creek, he has also filed a case, right? So this will help you understand how does the law come into the picture and how, we can use the legal frameworks to actually achieve these conservation goals. Yeah. So also, Abhadut, we are open to taking interns. So if anybody wants to intern with us specifically on this issue, we are of course very, very stringent. So you'll have to work very hard. But yes, if you really want to learn, we are happy to take interns. You have to be 20 years and above to be able to intern with us. But yes. Someone's asking if Shadu Mati is not available, can't we use normal soil ideal? So here's the deal, Kavira. Whatever you use, if you can make sure that you return it to where you took it from. आप अगर अपने घर के बाहर की मिट्टी यूज कर रहे हो तो उसको वहीं पे आपको वापस डालना है, and you have to make sure you don't add any chemicals to that. अगर आप ये कर सकते हो तो भले आप कहीं की भी मिट्टी यूज कीजिए, just make sure कि जहां से आपने ली थी वहीं पे वो वापस जाए. Then that cycle will be closed. And if you make your own murti, that is actually very, very beautiful. So this idea कि मैं मार्केट में जाके मूर्ति खरीद के लेके आऊंगी, so साउथ में अभी भी लोग खुद की मूर्ति खुद ही बनाते हैं. It's a beautiful tradition. Okay, I think Avadut, let's stop here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Manisha ma'am. Last year के से ये webinar भी also enlightening था हमारे लिए, and particularly जो आपने recycle clay के साथ research की बात की, अलग अलग architects and अलग अलग interested people ने जो research किया है, so that will be also helpful. And I think हमारे YWS program में भी कुछ colleges definitely would like that idea to do some kind of research and take that work forward also. कुछ नए idea के साथ, कुछ नए reuse के साथ वो भी शायद ये करेंगे. There are architect college and there are other colleges also who can take this up definitely. So एक जो भी हम फेस्टिवल सेलिब्रेट करते हैं उसका बेसिक पर्पस है कि हैप्पीनेस एंड सेटिस्फैक्शन एंड ऑल्सो हमारे जो भी देवता है उनको उतने ट्राइब्यूट पे करना. सो जैसा अगर वो फेस्टिवल ऐसा इको फ्रेंडली और ज्यादा से ज्यादा ऐसा हो जाए, then it adds to our happiness and also our family's happiness also. So with this, जो भी हमारे green clubs है, so you have multiple options to take it forward. अगर आपका कॉलेज एक फुल फ्लेजेड कलेक्शन सेंटर बन सकता है क्ले का, सो डेफिनेटली, बट जस्ट मेक श्योर कि आपका आगे का लिंकेज प्रॉपरली सेटअप हो कि क्ले कलेक्ट होने के बाद आप उसको किसको दोगे. अगर पुनरावर्तन कैंपेन का वहाँ पे नेटवर्क है तो उनके यहाँ कौन सा सेंटर है, कहाँ पे आप पहुंचाओगे, या फिर अपने ओन सिटी में अगर आप मूर्तिकारों से बात करके पहले उनसे वो सब कंसेंट एंड परमिशन सब लेके देन यू हैंड इट ओवर टू देम. सो वो आगे का लिंकेज पूरा प्लान करके देन ओनली गो फॉर क्ले कलेक्शन दैट आई वुड सजेस्ट. अगर आप वहाँ वो नहीं कर सकते तो अगर आपके सिटी में फुल फ्लेश पुनरावर्तन कैंपेन है, जैसे पुणे में है, पिंपरी चिंचवड में है, सांगली के कुछ सिटीज में है, एंड आई थिंक ठाणे एंड मे बी संभाजी नगर में है, तो वहाँ पे यू कैन ऑल्सो वॉलेंटियर फॉर देम, कि जहाँ पे उनके कलेक्शन सेंटर्स हैं वहाँ पे आपका कुछ समय देके आप वॉलेंटियर भी कर सकते हो. अगर आप वो भी अगर पॉसिबल नहीं है, देन ऑल्सो मैम ने हमें कुछ सर्वे सजेस्ट किए थे कि कुछ सर्वेज भी आप अपने आसपास के कम्युनिटी में कर सकते हो रिगार्डिंग फेस्टिवल एंड व्हाट आर द करंट प्रैक्टिसेस जो है फेस्टिवल सेलिब्रेट करने के उसके अराउंड, एंड देयर परसेप्शन एंड ओपननेस टू सच सच न्यू आइडियाज. सो उसके सर्वे के फॉर्म भी शायद वेबसाइट पे अवेलेबल है, या फिर मैम विल सेंड यू ऑन ईमेल, so that will also help you. So there are these 2 3 different things. You can do all of them, or you can choose, or you can make a combination of 1 or 2 things in that, and you can also participate in making this festival more and more eco-friendly. Thank you very much, Manisha ma'am.
Avadut, one
Yes,
last
yes, yes,
request,
please,
because
please.
this is all
Yeah.
Gen X and millennials and all these. We are very good on Instagram and social media. So one request to all of you, which would really help us. We are creating lots of beautiful social media creatives, reels, videos, etc. If you can just go to our page, which is EcoExist India on Instagram, and like and subscribe and whatever else that gets done on Instagram, forward it, repost it, whatever. That would really, really help us to spread the message across the. So that's very easy for you to do. So we request you to do that. Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. आप सबने आज आई थिंक थोड़ा फेस्टिवल का टाइम भी था, फिर भी आप सबने इस वेबिनार के लिए ज्वाइन किया. सो इसके लिए आप सबका धन्यवाद. हमारे ग्रीन क्लब फैकल्टी कोऑर्डिनेटर्स, मास्टर ट्रेनर्स एंड ग्रीन क्लब यूथ, आप सब वेबिनार के लिए ज्वाइन हुए, इसके लिए धन्यवाद. एंड आई लुक फॉरवर्ड कि हम सब कॉलेजेस जो भी ग्रीन क्लब्स है वो इस कैंपेन में अपना अपना सहयोग देंगे इस गणेश उत्सव में. So thank you very
So
much.
someone is asking, can you repeat the name of the Insta page?
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's EcoExist India, EcoExistIndia, EcoExist India. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Namaste.
Yes. Thank you. Bye.